Hi guys, FrostFangs here, welcome back once again, of course, to another Paladins video. We'll be playing some Imani today, for the first time in what feels like forever. Been gone for a couple of days, but I'm back now, so we should be back to the regular schedule of sort of daily videos, or close to it. But we're playing Imani today with my standard and cooldown setups for it. I'll probably use both. For me, both of those playstyles work really well, and then for the talent, I tend to go for Pyromania, and then occasionally Splitting Ice, depending on the situation. Mana Rift is also really good, but I don't really grab it that often, and Pyromania sometimes doesn't make sense. I'd say it is the one I go for most often because it can be really good if you're blasting the point on like an onslaught or something, but if you're one-on-oneing a lot and you're not really expecting to be fighting in groups and getting really big pyroblasts, then you're actually going to end up with less damage sometimes. Anyway, on to the builds. They are quite a bit different from where they were last time, but I don't want to spend too long here. We've got a bunch of healing on the F, extra health, extra speed in the F, cooldown reduction on the Q, and duration in the F. I'd say this is a very, very safe setup. You can't really go wrong with this. Works really, really well for me, although I don't know if it's standard for everybody. I don't know if it's even really standard for me, because ever since they changed her Q and buffed it, I actually go for the cooldown one a little bit more. Even though I've been doing this for as long as I've been doing this, I still don't know how long to spend here in the intros, but hopefully that was enough information whilst also not spending way too long explaining stuff that didn't need to be explained. Let me know though, do you want longer intros or shorter intros, because I used to make them like 3 minutes ago. I used to explain a lot more stuff than I do now, because I kind of simplify and go over it in more of a broad sort of sense. Anyway, on to game one. I have been playing a bit of Imani recently, so if I'm rusty, don't really have any sort of excuse. We've got Onslaught Marauders Port, shoutouts to Erin, that is our EV. We've also got a Sati, a Ray, and seemingly here an Ash as well. Then for their side, a Ray, a BK, a Mave, a Koga, and a Barrack. We're going to go for Splitting Ice, and then I guess the cooldown setup. Definitely wouldn't recommend going for Pyromania in a situation like this, because they're not going to be very grouped. They have two flankers, a damage, a Ray, and a Barrack. It's not really a great position for it. It would be fine, wouldn't do terribly, but I think we're probably a little bit safer going for someone else. Don't really like Splitting Ice that much though, to be completely honest. We've got Over the Moon, Fortress Breaker, Window of Opportunity, Extension, Fortify, or Fortify, Adrenaline Junkie, Catburg, the Raw Subjects, and Extension. Definitely said it before in a different Imani video, but I don't really like any of her talents too much, to be honest. I find all of them to be kind of mediocre. I don't mind the Fire one too much. That was a solid set of abilities there, but yeah, they're on the BK, but just, yeah, overall I find them to be kind of underwhelming. We're going to F and just retreat, hope that I'm not in the stun range. Yep, we're fine. I'm getting kind of hit. We're going to drop down on the right side, blast whoever we can blast, get rid of the BK nearly. There's a Fireball. I'm dead to Koga, didn't realize he was under me. Maybe the Eve can get rid of him here, or not. Okay, there we go. She still won that fight somehow. Tried to pay attention to where people were at, but that wasn't a great one. We'll just root there. Okay, cool. Get a hit or two on the Koga. Feel like that should have connected. BK's going for the ult. We're going to glide around. Pop the right click. There goes the BK. Hits on the Koga. Imani's right click is probably my favorite of her abilities, but just, yeah, overall don't like her talents that much, but I feel like her kit has a hell of a lot of potential. There's a root. There's a kill on the Ray. We're going to just F away a little bit. That is not what I was trying to do. I think I constantly go back and forth with Imani on making solid plays and just absolute messy ones, but we'll just try and melt through the BK because he can't really get away too easily. There we go. We'll just go over this way, melt through nothing, and get out of the dragon form, I guess. Glide all the way over, pop a right click, melt through the BK if we can, just a little bit out of range. I wish the range indicator was a little bit better on Imani so you could see exactly when you can hit someone with your right click. Ray's just going to pull back. There's a hit on the BK and nothing because I can't finish, or maybe I can. There we go. Okay, hit on the Ray with the mana shot. There goes the BK too. Very, very janky set of kills there, but we're going to glide over the top, get a right click there on the Koga, see if we can melt through him. No, we're going to switch, throw right up there for the Mave, and then kill the Koga anyway. Sure, I'm dead to Mave. I guess we got rid of Koga. That was so jank. We'll finish off Quarter Eyes. Get the BK with a K. There we go. We'll fire another one at him. Can we finish him off? Never mind. We're going to glide over the top. We're going to stop just here. Right click, melt through the Mave. She's probably the person causing me the most trouble at the moment, but we do still trade with her quite often. We're going to throw the ball down there. Is that going to get me anything? Didn't put me into combat. Actually worked out quite well. Glide over the top, pop a right click. Oh my god, that cut it kind of close, but we're getting some good damage on the BK. Not a BK, well, technically still the BK. There goes the Barrack. We're going to switch, right click. There we go. Cooldown reset coming in pretty clutch, because I think we actually had like a second on it. Hit for the Mave. She's going to pull back, glide up a bit. Mave ulted. We'll right click, finish off the Barrack. Maybe. Oh my god, he's on nothing. I thought I freaking had the Pyromania talent. What am I doing? There's a root. Hits on the Barrack. He's gone. Not a Barrack. BK. How am I getting both of them mixed up? Don't really feel like firing that Koga when they drop down. Right click just dealing no damage. Imani is still bugged. She used to be much worse, but she still has sometimes her right click and not work. Most of the rest of her kit tends to work fine, but her right click is still very janky and often doesn't actually deal damage, and you just kind of do nothing and end up getting yourself killed. Hello Mave, we're going to just retreat. Don't really feel like dueling you right now, especially when I'm in the middle of trying to explain myself. Hit over there for the Koga. There's another one. Maybe we can hit him with a little cheeky tap for like 50. Okay, Evie's got it handled. That works. Let's go ahead and pop the ult. Bit of a janky spot to pop it, but as long as the Mave can't get to us, we should be fine. Ray ulted. We're going to push in here, just push them off the point. Hopefully not die too soon. There we go. He's gone. There goes the Ray as well. We're going to switch out of that. Ray had me covered. Hit up there for the back turret. That's just crashed my game. I literally just crashed, hitting her back turret. Right, well, we loaded back in pretty quick. There's a root on the BK. I don't remember what the score was when we DC'd, but right now we're getting kind of shredded. He's going for the ult. We'll get some hits on him here. He's pushing towards the Ray. I don't know how I got hit by that. Just wasted my mana somehow. We'll throw over some more hits in the ice stance. I forgot I was going for the talent for it, so I probably should have been doing that a bit more often. We'll root there. That didn't hit anybody. We'll F. Definitely lost this, but we might as well try and make our stat look a little bit better. I'm dead here any second. I can't land anything apparently, and there is... yeah, the defeat. Well-deserved win for them, I guess. I think they were putting up a really good fight for it. Their Mave specifically was doing work, and I barely even was able to kill the Ray, which probably was a big reason why we lost. Although maybe if I didn't DC for the last fifth of that game, we would have had it. Who knows? Their Mave did a fantastic job there, so did their Ray, and the rest of the stats are pretty much what you'd expect. A 9, 10, 60k, we surprisingly have highest damage, and yeah, Riku, jump into a game 2 and hopefully do a bit better, because that first game was a little bit jank. Alright, well, for game 2, we've got Siege Bazaar. I know you guys have been asking me for more Siege, so I'll try and keep it coming. We've got a Fury, we've got a Cassie, a Ray, and a Skye. Bit of a weird team, but I guess we'll see how we do. For their side, they've got an Eevee, a Ray, a Grok, a Cassie, and an Ashe. So a much more standard sort of team. We'll go for, I guess we'll go for Pyromania. I don't really think any of the taunts here are going to make that big of a difference. And then we'll go for the standard setup. We'll start with Cauterize, which is probably the thing we should always start with, not Cronus. I don't know why I did that in game 1. We've got Restraint, Exterminate, Exaction, and then whatever the Skye grabs. Impulse, Maelstrom, Focus, and Wormhole. With me, at least, I tend to do pretty mediocre with Imani. She has a very, very high skill ceiling, but I never tend to capitalize off of it, or at least tend to have a bit of a hard time. There's some hits on the Ray. I'm getting absolutely blasted right now. There's an 800. There's a 2 hit over there. I'm somehow not dead. I feel like I totally should be, but we'll glide over the top. Seems like Cassie was able to shred. That was very jank, but that worked fantastically. It smelt through the Ashe. I feel kind of cheesed there. That was not a proper sentence, but I feel like I kind of cheesed that Ashe. We'll throw the root there for literally no reason. We'll play on the left side. Fire hit over there. There's another 800. Kind of the reason that Pyromania sucks, because if you do direct hit consistently, if you're really, really good with Imani, you're actually going to end up with less damage, obviously. But if you're just able to hit near them, you can end up with quite a bit more, because it's a hit you would otherwise not land. There is the objective captured. Stance switch, pop the F, glide all the way around, kind of behind them. I guess that worked. We'll throw the root just there. Maybe that'll get me something. Eevee's just here. I'm probably going to die any second. There's a hit. There's another hit. I'm just going to try and pull back. So that's Fear for the heal. Somehow I'm massively slowed. Pop the F, just going to pull away a bit. It's probably quite a good map for the dragon. If I can position myself well and hide myself, we can probably get some pretty big plays with it. There's some hits on the Ashe. She's going to F away. We'll just go ahead and finish her off. Didn't work, but Fear's got me covered. Okay, definitely spending quite a bit of this game just avoiding the enemy. There goes the Grok. Missed the hit on the Ray. There's one. F ran in the air a little bit. Pop a right click. Blast the Ashe a tad. There we go. Right click is probably my favourite way to deal damage with Imani, but wish I was a little bit better though with her main weapon. There's a 600 hit on the Grok, even though it felt like a direct one. Hit on nobody because she teleported back. Pop the F, glide around the top. Right click, melt through the Eevee. Maybe she's not looking too good. Thought that would have maybe finished her off. There is a root. It hit somebody. Okay, Fury ult's probably going to guarantee the push here. There's a hit for nobody because I missed by like a little bit. Hit on the Grok, he's out. Pop the F, pushing in on the Ray. We're just going to glide over this side and finish her off with a right click. There we go. Okay, that works. I'm kind of stuck now though. Just saw Ashe on right side. We'll call that. We'll throw the hit just there and then glide over the top back towards where the team's at. That's a Skye ult. Don't know why I'm playing as if we have a tank. We don't. Ray's just kind of pushing the point on our own as a healer. There's a hit for the Furia, not a Furia. It's a Cassie, whatever. This play's kind of working. Pop a right click just here on the floor to get some damage on the Ashe. There's a hit for her. She's going for the ult. Furia's gone and there is the push failed. We've got some pretty good damage. We actually made a solid effort there. Cassie said misclicked with the ult. Didn't even realise. I heard the sound effect, but for some reason I thought it didn't go off. It did. She's on 6%. So did Ray. Did go ahead and pop the ult, and then Cassie ulted like a second afterwards. Okay, this isn't going to work, but we'll see what we can do. Let's go through the Ashe. She is nearly dead. We're just going to, I guess, get our dragon killed and get teleported back. I would say that went terribly, but it also could have been worse. There goes the Grok. There's a hit for the Ray. There's gone. Okay, hit over there for the Eevee. Surprisingly, I feel like this starts helping me with the Eevee just because I'm not really hitting her too reliably. She is gone. Nice. Managed to glide over. But that's a team wipe. Cassie's probably putting in the most work right now. Props to her. We'll try and get that over. Complete failure. Just going to try and F away, get a bit of healing from our thing. We'll glide over this little bit. Pop a right click. There we go. We can actually fit through there. Surprisingly, never done that before. Okay. Root just there. That hit like 3 of them. Enemies on left. There goes the Cassie. Pyromania helping me out. Hit for the Grok. Another hit for the Grok. Ray's just here on the side. Hit for the Eevee that I don't know if actually landed. There's a right click, melt through her. Yep, there we go. She's gone. Hit for the Grok again. It's going to be another team wipe. We're actually putting in work. Cassie going ahead and finishing him off, or I guess the Fury did. She's also doing a pretty good job. Glide over the top. Make sure we know what's going on. Pop a right click just here. Melt through the Ray. Oh my god, that was gross. There is a root for her. Going to go ahead and pop the ult. See what we can do. This is a really, really bad spot to do it, but hopefully the team can cover me. Ashe is just there. We'll melt through whoever we can melt through. She's used her F already, so she's dead. We're gone with the dragon, but that's fine. We'll glide over the top. Right click here for the Grok. He's not out just yet. We'll throw a root through. Pop hit just there. Okay, that worked again somehow. As I said in game 1, overall very jank plays with Imani, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Pushed up a little bit too hard there. Ash ulted. We didn't get rid of the Cassie. I thought we would. She was outputting quite a bit. I took most of that though from the Eevee. Surprisingly, we'll grab some more Haven and run back in. That was a really quick spawn. That's Eevee ulting, although it doesn't really matter. Seems like the team just shredded through them. That is a push successful. Really quite surprised we got that one, to be honest, but let's run into round 3. I guess it is because we have the double heal. It's going to get tougher as we go because they're going to get more and more cauterizer. Right now only 2 of them have it maxed. We don't have a tank, so we kind of just rely on wiping them to get the push. That's Grok with the ult. Cassie's reveals over. We can actually not fit through there unless we're right-clicking, which is interesting. We'll right-click on the Ash. She's gone. Nice. I'm going to fall down. Didn't think that was going to happen. There's a route for the Ray. We'll get some hits on her. She's on nothing. We are kind of forcing them to get cauterize and also resilience in a weird way, so maybe that's why it's working so well. That's the Grok getting ulted by the Ray. We'll clear through his totem, I guess. There's a route for you. Didn't think you were there. Okay, we're just going to slowly dip around. I was trying to play the point a bit. Cassie's here, getting blasted by the Sky. She's gone. We'll stance switch a little bit. There's some hits over there. I think she was immune from something. There goes the Ray hit on the Eevee again. Another one. She's out. Okay, we finished her, and that's a team wipe. What I've been trying to say for like the past 5 minutes, which I kind of mentioned in game 1, is I'm just overall really janky with Imani. I feel like a lot of people are. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but luckily in this one it's going fine. We're going to just stand on the point and go for the ult just to try and hold them off a bit. I'm just literally just going to sit here and wait to see what we can do. That's the Cassie. Just block this side a bit, melt through the Grok. He's ghost walking, melt through the Ash and the Ray. She's out. That should make this a hell of a lot easier. We're going to switch out, nearly dead already. Over the top, right click. Eevee's doing summon. Throw the root just there. Furia with the ult. That's a stop. There we go. She's gone. Can we kill this Eevee? Yes, we can. This is so messy, but it worked because Ray's the only one left and she died earlier, so there is the 4-1 victory. I'll happily take the win. We were lucky enough to be able to clear them there in the 3rd round 2 times to secure the win. I did better than I thought I was doing there though. 11,387k. Happy with that. Shoutouts to that is their Ash. Yeah, somehow the jankiness worked in that one. I felt like I was doing better in game 2, but still overall pretty awkward. Our Fury did a fantastic job, so did our Ray, so did our Sky, and so did our Cassie specifically. Even though we didn't have a tank in that one, we were able to really push because of the lack of resilience on their side. Ash is the only one who got it. We were kind of forcing resilience and cauterize. They got caught because they thought it was more important. It's a bit more normal, but Fury's stun was hitting really, really hard on anybody. It was nearly an insta-kill for a lot of them. So yeah, shouts to the team. That was overall a fantastic game, and it played out in a really interesting way. I did a pretty good job of showing off Imani. The standard setup worked really, really well. Didn't even really notice that I wasn't getting the cooldown reset on the Q. It still worked and let me use my abilities enough. Don't really have anything else to add here at the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, cut it. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Of course, let me know what you want to see me do next. I'll see you guys all really, really soon. And as always, stay Frost, though.